Hey guys, Kaori over here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the indie game Firewatch. Firewatch came out February 2016, and just in a little bit over a month, it has sold over 500,000 copies, which is great because Firewatch is actually an indie game, and I am so gung-ho. Developed by indie company Campo Santo. Just fair warning, this is going to have a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't played the game, I suggest you go play it. It's only 3 hours to 4 hours long, depending on how much of an explorer you are, and then come back and comment below and tell me what you thought of the game. Well, here are my thoughts. Brief synopsis of the story. You have a man named Henry who is your playable character, and he meets a woman in college and he falls in love with her. He has a dog with her. You get to choose a kind of dog. They maybe have children, maybe not. I went through the path that they didn't have children, so I'm not quite sure if that's a possibility. And during their marriage, your wife ends up having Alzheimer's disease or signs of dementia. So things get rough. She's only in her 40s and she has this illness. And her parents decide to take her back to Australia because they decide that you cannot take care of her. So you are mourning the process of losing the love of your life. Also at such an early age. She's only in her 40s. So you decide to take a post at a tower, Firewatch. Your name's Henry, and every day you communicate with the tower that oversees the other watchtowers, Delilah. Do you end up having some kind of love affair with Delilah or not, depending? I mean, I ended up having some kind of walkie-talkie sex with her, which was interesting. Throughout this interesting way of like kind of filling each other's voids, because she's has some romance issues of her own, you just end up keeping each other company, and it's a nice little touch. You take her orders, you go out into the wilderness, and you go to a cave, you go to a lake, you go to an area with pristine nature, you see some animals, you see a badger. Depending on how much you involve yourself in this game, you can see a lot, or you can be kind of more like me, where you beeline and just try to get to the main point. As you are kind of just overlooking things, you find out that the person who previously had your watch had a son at that watch who was kept in secrecy with the help of Delilah, and the son actually ends up dying, and the father who ends up staying in the forest and kind of going crazy, and he's trying to basically scare you out of the forest because he doesn't want to blow his cover or reveal that his son is dead. But you do end up finding the son's body, and you do end up getting scares and freaked out. And like, there are moments when I'm walking around that I am scared that I'm gonna get hit, especially when I go deeper and deeper and deeper into the cave. I start wondering what I'm gonna find, because something so beautiful kind of scared you that it can become so dark and dreary. My positives of this game was, I think the story was well played. I think the length is good. It shouldn't be longer than 3 to 4 hours of play. And I like that you are kind of in solitude. It gives you, as a player, as a gamer, a sense of relaxation, that you get to check out this wilderness and be away from society and self-reflect. Because sometimes we all need that. Sometimes we want to get away from our troubles just for at least the summer and take a break from life and just be with ourselves, you know? But Henry isn't completely alone. He has Delilah there, and he develops some not so platonic friendship, but it works out, and they help each other out, and they bond, and you like that. You have a person that they bond with, and I like that, you know, they develop something, and they kind of want to see each other later, but she pushes him to deal with his past first, and I think that's a really good story, that after everything comes to an end, they need to deal with that first before they can move forward, even though they had troubles of their own in the forest. And so my positives was the storyline, the scenery, and I think for an indie game, they did really well with how everything was mapped out. The mechanics, considering, wasn't so bad. You just, you know, one trigger is the compass, the other trigger is the map, and it's really easy to navigate yourself around, and if you're good with maps, you can develop how to do it rather quickly. So, I mean, I have a lot of good things to say about the game. Obviously, the storyline, the game mechanics, the beauty of it, how much you can explore or how little you want to explore, that's really your choice. Even though it's in such a pristine or nice area of nature, it also has a lot of scary moments. And that is what adds the thrill to the game. It's just the perfect touch. And I'm really happy that this indie game did so well because I'm hoping that Campo Santo does develop some more games. I think it's a very creative idea to have a man put up in a watchtower because to get away from his troubles, it's something that we can all kind of relate to, that we all have lives that are not perfect and we end up wanting to kind of get away from that life at least for a little bit and self-reflect, and then we meet other people, and Delilah was completely unexpected for him, as well as his meetup with, he tries to get away from what was going on, and then he with his life and his wife with dementia, and then he only realizes that someone has it worse. I mean, that someone was the guy who previously had the watchtower. Now he has to scare people off because he doesn't want people knowing that his son accidentally died off a cliff. Like, things could be worse, and that's kind of your takeaway from it after you play this game. The negatives, I will say, I wouldn't say there's really a lot of negatives. My biggest negative of all would be that oftentimes you would have to travel from one area of the forest to the other one, and sometimes they would be like exponentially far away, or the mechanics weren't always that great where you can travel easily, or they wouldn't let you go to another place unless you completed like a certain part of the quest or observed a certain object. And I guess that makes sense because that way you don't miss anything crucial. But I just didn't really like that. It frustrated me sometimes where I would be all the way at one area of the map and then I find out I have to go all the way over here. I think I would enjoy the game a lot more if I kind of took my time with it and checked out the area more and stuff. But I'm just saying that it wasn't perfect, but hey, it's an indie game developer, and I think they did an exponentially phenomenal job considering this was their first game out of the gates, and I loved it very, very much. I would definitely recommend this game. If you only have 3 to 4 hours, it's perfect. It's nice. It takes you away from your troubles for a little bit. And kudos to Campo Santos for creating such an ethereal, magical game. And let me know what you guys thought of this game. So comment below and let me know. Also, thumbs up this video, subscribe, and tell me what games you want me to review. Alright guys, but don't forget, every Wednesday I will be releasing another video game review. Every Monday there will be a new vlog and a couple things in between. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time for some more talk.